Montech TG3 comes with two glass panels, four 120mm ARGB fans, and in front of the power supply shroud, which has ARGB, there's a little platform where you can place some amusing objet, and we've done exactly that with the glass bird. And apparently, if I listen carefully, I'll be able to hear that bird going cheap. Oh, I see. It's the TG3 that's going cheap. Let's pull off some panels and I can show you what's going on with the TG3. The main glass simply pops off. Top panel just pulls, filter on the inside. The front glass also pulls away. This panel also comes away to reveal the cable management and the back of the motherboard tray. This black case comes with a silver painted power supply shroud. The white version we see in images has a white power supply shroud. There's a drive plate secured with a thumb screw. That comes away, one hard drive or two SSDs, two SATA SSDs. And you see the 120 fan at the rear and the three 120 fans at the side, but they're not. That's actually a 360 fan. One screw, two, three. So it's a unibody 360 fan. Obviously we have to do some thermal testing to see how well it works. In terms of installation, 4 screws rather than the usual 12. Actually worth showing you. A single cable connection for the RGB and a single cable connection for the PWM. We have a very small ARGB hub on the back. You're connecting your fans directly to the motherboard and you're connecting all the ARGB connections to that hub, and then you connect that to the motherboard. You can, however, control the RGB function with that button. You'll note the front I/O is very low down. If that case is on the floor, you can see that connecting a USB drive might be slightly awkward. This case looks to me as though it's intended to sit up on your desk. The motherboard tray has loads of perforations because it supports rear connection motherboards. So in addition to conventional ITX, micro ATX and ATX, you can, for example, install an MSI Project 0. With the case fully stripped down, if I pull on it reasonably firmly, it'll flex a few millimeters, but the structure is solid. All these components are riveted together, so you don't have an option of, for example, removing the power supply shroud. This is as far as it goes. So let's go in the opposite direction and start installing some components. We're starting with the motherboard assembly, which is this Sapphire Nitro Plus X870E Phantom Link Polar Edition. That means it has a stealthy connection for the graphics power on the motherboard itself, and if you have the matching graphics card, and we do, you don't need a dangly power cable from your graphics card, because the power is going to be fed through this slot here, which is in line with the main graphics slot. Our processor is an AMD Ryzen 7 9850X 3D, and our memory is 32GB of Kingston Fury Beast DDR5 6000. Let's snap the heatsink in place over the SSD. And we can turn to the power supply, which is a Montech Century 2 Gold 1050 watt, fully modular. And I think we can see why the power supply shroud has that silver colour. It's a perfect match for the Century 2 power supply. So let's get that installed, and then we can think about the CPU cooler. Well, that's looking fairly tidy around the back. It's also quite neat. I do have my concerns if I was using a rear connection motherboard such as Project Zero or BTF. I think the cabling would be a bit of a squeeze. But as we're going for a fairly conventional motherboard, albeit with the graphics power in an unusual location, so far, so good. Now let's move on to the CPU cooler. I was considering either this Montech Hyperflow ARGB 240 or the 360 version, but I've decided to go for an air cooler. The NX600 is a twin tower cooler with 2 chunky fans. When James reviewed this NX600, it did very well, and it looks great inside this TG3. And we finish with our graphics card, which is the Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 9070 XT Phantom Link. That part there being the Phantom Link. And we install a few screws and clip the magnetic backplate into position, and the PC will shortly be ready for action. With the PC running, we can first admire the good looks and the light show from the ARGB lighting on the various components, and then we use smoke to check out the airflow. The air comes in from the side of the case through that 360mm fan, but doesn't appear to go anywhere near the CPU cooler, and instead is whipped out of the top of the case. Remember, there are no fans in the top of the case, so we have to assume the updraft is caused by the graphics card. As we look at the smoke, this pattern is not what we expected to see. We're thermally testing the Montech TG with a combination of Speedway stress test and Cinebench R23. The Ryzen 7 CPU is drawing 140 watts and running at 5.2 GHz, while our RX 9070 XT graphics card is drawing 330 watts. System power draw at the wall socket is 560 to 570 watts. For the first test, we had the case fans and the CPU cooler fans running at 1000 RPM, which sounded like this. During this test, our ambient temperature is 23 Celsius, our CPU is running at 95 Celsius, and the graphics card at 60 Celsius. However, in our later tests, the ambient temperature changed slightly, so we're showing delta temperatures, and that's why you're seeing the CPU temperature as 72 degrees, and the graphics temperature as 37 degrees. For the second test, we increased all the fans to 1400 RPM, which sounds like this. The ambient was steady at 23 Celsius, the CPU temperature dropped 2 degrees to 93, which is a delta of 70. Graphics temperature also dropped 1 degree to 59, which is a delta of 36. For the third test, we have all the fans running at 1600 RPM, which is the maximum speed for those side fans, and that sounds like this. The ambient temperature has increased 1 degree to 24 degrees. The CPU temperature has dropped to 89 degrees, which is a delta of 65 Celsius. The graphics temperature has held steady at 59, which is a delta of 35 Celsius. For our fourth and final test, we increase all the fans to maximum speed. The side fans at 1600 RPM, the rear fan and the CPU fans to 1900 RPM, and it sounds like this. The ambient temperature crept up another degree to 25 Celsius. The CPU temperature is now 90 degrees, which means the delta was maintained at 65 degrees, and the graphics temperature was 59 degrees, which means the delta had dropped 1 degree to 34 degrees. If you've been paying very close attention to this video, you might have noticed the color of the power supply cables has changed, and that's because I've removed the Century 2 and I've installed instead this Montech Titan PLA 1000 watt, not because I felt a need to step up in efficiency of the power supply, it's because there was something peculiar going on with the fan. It made a bit too much noise for my taste, and I wanted you to hear the sound of the cooling of the case and the CPU cooler and not to be distracted by the power supply. So that is why there's been a bit of a change. Let's move on to my pros and cons with this case. So the cooling did not massively impress me, but I think that might have been because I got a bit too clever for myself. I deliberately put an air tower in this case because it's the budget option. Putting an AIO in the roof, I thought, well, you might want to go cheap. But the nature of this specific graphics card appears to affect the airflow in the case. I think it's better suited to an AIO. So the cooling was perfectly okay. It's quite warm here at the moment, as you saw in the charts. But I think the cooling would have been slightly improved by an AIO. However, it was perfectly okay. I would say this PC is a mid-range gaming PC. An RX 9070 XT graphics card is a perfectly serious piece of kit, and obviously a Ryzen 7 3D processor is a very serious piece of kit, but it doesn't have the grunt of a Ryzen 9 or indeed one of Intel's, what's the current top dog, Core Ultra 7 270K plus. So if you want to put a more serious processor in terms of cores and power draw in, AIO in this case I think would be a good idea. However, this configuration, the air tower is all right, but when you ramp up the fans, goodness me, it can get noisy. So pros and cons, the good points: very low price, a penny under £50 including VAT here in the UK. I consider that to be almost remarkable. Well, it is remarkable in the most literal sense. I find it almost unbelievable. I've checked with Montech, Scan has it listed, it's legit, and wow. Secondly, you have a good amount of room in the main chamber to assemble your PC. The fact I have an air tower rather than AIO means I've got even more access, but feeding the cables through and connecting everything up, it was dead straightforward. And look at the space for the graphics card. This is a budget case, but it does things right. And thirdly, on the pros side of things, decent build quality. Pulling off panels, replacing panels, no nasty flakes of paint, everything lined up. It's great. I mean, it's for a budget case at this price, it's, as I say, quite remarkable. But the build quality, yep, no problems there. Cons, the negatives. The cooling is nothing special for this PC, which is the thick end of 600 watts. Secondly, as already mentioned, when you crank up the fans, the TG gets noisy. And thirdly, this might not be a problem to you, the main components are riveted together. If you fancy being able to pull off certain parts of the case to mod it or to change things around, you can't. As you saw at the start of the video when I stripped it down, you can go so far and no further. Overall, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 and a must-have. Do please check us out at kitguru.net. Don't forget, we also do TikTok.